I think you're going to see the opposite of the previous outgoing administration of Joe Biden. Internally, it's going to mean big tax changes. There's going to be a big tax bill coming up next year. We also have to make decisions on, as you say, not just taxes, but tariffs. Are they going to be used laser-like to get new, better trade negotiations going? Will we reduce trade barriers rather than letting trade barriers increase? So that's going to be a major issue as well. Then how we adapt to all of this new technology, having the right environment. You're going to see a big thing changing in the U.S. in terms of energy. We're going to become once again a major energy producer. Instead of trying to discourage getting natural gas and oil, they're going to encourage it. So we're going to become a major oil exporter, and not only oil, but also natural gas. And whether it's directly or indirectly, one of our big customers in the future for that energy is going to be China.
Right, and we talk about the possibility for these tariffs perhaps to unlock new economic potential in the United States. But what might these implications be for the world? Because when you see tariffs and trade barriers come up, it does incite the possibility that there will be retaliatory actions from the likes of China, from the likes of the EU, for instance, and other trade barriers. And is this upending of trade actually going to be good or bad for the world? Because it seems that there might be a race towards protectionism that many investors are concerned about.
Well, the key thing is to avoid retaliation where you get into a trade war. I think what you're going to see more of is what we had in Trump's first term in terms of our relations with Mexico and Canada. We had this thing called NAFTA, which reduced trade barriers between the three countries. That was renegotiated. Took some application and threat of application of tariffs, but it was a much stronger, updated deal. So the key thing is, I think what the goal will be is not to increase trade barriers, but to reduce trade barriers. For example, a lot of countries have higher tariffs on us than we have on them, on not only tariffs, but also non-tariff trade barriers as well. So the goal is to increase access to a global interaction. Also, as you know, there's a lot of outsourcing, not just focusing on China, but in this region as well. So the key thing is how it is done, and I hope other governments take it as an opportunity. How do we get more trade? One of the things, for example, even though it's not part of this world, is are we going to get a free trade negotiation going with Britain? That was supposed to start in the Biden administration, but they caved into pressure from the unions, and so it never happened. Well, can it happen this time with the new Labour government in London? They got to get something going with that troubled economy. Mm-hmm. So it depends on how both parties sit down and negotiate deals. Trump loves to cut deals. And you have to make a distinction between his rhetoric, which can be very fierce, but he always does that in a negotiation, then sit down, as we did with the old NAFTA, came up with the new U.S., Canada, Mexico trade agreement, where we made changes, positive changes. Sure. So we're looking for positive changes, not a global trade war.